It's time for the show that brings the magic right to your speakers. Ears Up!
What's going on, everybody? Ears Up podcast for our first show in December. And actually, it's historically our last show in December as well. We only really do one show in the month of December. We actually get a break. We get one show break, and that's about all we deserve. And I'm okay with that, I suppose. I don't know. I got enough shows going on in my life. I don't need to stress about the Christmas episode of this show. So this is the only show you're getting in December. We're going to, of course, have a secret show, which we're recording later on tonight. We are back to the 2-for-1 special, which we haven't done in a very long time, and I'm nervous about it. Because I already have a beer in front of me, but it's going to be good. It's going to be a good show today. In case you don't know, if you just clicked on the podcast, and you're like, oh, what do these weirdos have to say? Today we're going to be learning about how to plan a trip to Tokyo Disneyland properly, and with our very special guest, Mr. P. Mr. P, welcome to Ears Up podcast.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
What's going on, man? Yeah, of course. Well, thanks for doing all the work for me. I appreciate you doing work for me.
Going and on vacation and having a good time is a lot of hard work. So.
Well, look, man, I'm not going to do it. So you got to be the one to do it. It's got to be you, baby. So yeah, you went to Tokyo Disney, and I'm like, dude, we should do a show. And you're like, yeah, or whatever. And you were telling me that it is, and I've since confirmed this because I don't listen to just one news source. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those people. It is cheaper.
You should only listen to me.
That's right. It is cheaper to go to Tokyo Disney than it is for us to go to Disneyland. For us in California who would drive there, it's cheaper. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think that's bad news, unless you want to go to Japan, in which case it's perfect news. So we're going to go through all the tips and tricks that Mr. P learned in doing research for his trip, because I think you were telling me when you were planning it, you're like, there's not a whole lot of really like information out there about it, right?
There really isn't. It's kind of shocking how little information there is other than like 3 people, which is a little scary, as you just said.
Yeah.
You want a couple news sources. So.
You want a couple news sources, man. So we're going to be those a couple news sources for you guys. We're going to go through all that.
5.
Hell yeah, it'll be great. It'll be a good time, everybody. Eric is not joining us today. He had some stuff to take care of. So Eric, he might dip in later. I don't know. He might also be here for the secret show. I'm not sure. He's like, look, I just got this and this going on. I said, look, here's the links to everything. Join in if you want. If not, then don't worry about it. It's totally fine. And he's like, yeah, thanks, man. What am I going to do? In order for me to guilt trip you, I'd have to pay you. And I'm not doing that. So therefore, I'm going to be a nice guy.
I'll try not to take offense from Eric.
Yeah, please don't. He needs all the fences he can get, I guess, or something like that.
He needs to close his yard, man.
He needs to learn how to fence. I tell you that. And Taryn, of course, will be joining us shortly. She's doing mom stuff. So it's just P and I, man. It's just the boys. We're running loose, baby.
Boys, let's go.
So if you're planning to go to the American parks, and I wish Eric was here right now because I'm not entirely sure. I don't think that Concierge, you go to concierge.com, I don't know that they do Tokyo Disney at all, but they definitely do the domestic park. So if you're thinking about going to Tokyo Disney, but you don't want to, mess up any plans you might have for 2025 to go to some of the domestic parks, hit up concierge.com. You go there, you give them your itinerary. They book everything for you. You don't have to do a single thing except pay, which is the best part. It's like, okay, what I love doing about vacation is, and I'm not even joking, it's like booking stuff. Because you feel accomplished. You have a list in your head of like, okay, here's what we got to do. We got to go, we got to book airfare, but we also got to see if hotels are available. Then we got to get park reservations or whatever. Then we have to make sure we can afford it. So then we have to go rob the neighbors when they're gone, and we have to sell fentanyl in order to, with the whole thing, right? And so once you have everything paid for, it's accomplished. So Concierge takes that accomplishment away from you, as a matter of fact, and they get all the dopamine from doing it. And all you have to do is just enjoy your trip. They'll book your hotels for you. And if they can find better rates later on before you go, obviously, they'll rebook the hotel and they'll give you the difference. They'll refund you the difference. It's really cool. It's a cool service. So check them out, concierge.com. I think that's all I had. I did my housekeeping. I said this is our last show for the month. I said that we're going to be recording our secret show, which I haven't put the link in Patreon yet. So if you are a Patreon supporter, I apologize. After this show, I'll link it. It'll be real late, or maybe I'll do it during the break. I don't know, but I'll definitely do it before the show starts. I promise you that. And then we're going to be doing that over on YouTube, of course. I'm not going to let these people on Twitch, get in on our secret society of weirdos who make fun of Disney news and drink stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll be there too. I believe I am invited.
Oh yeah, I meant to tell you about that. I rescinded your invite. Yeah, P's going to join us for Secret Show.
It's going to be the roast of Mr. P is what it's going to turn into.
Yeah, like every day. We're gonna feed him biddies, and he's going to do Hulk shots until we get to see them again or something like that. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, P, that's all I got. So why don't we just jump right into the show? Let's talk about Tokyo. I've always wanted to go to Japan, but I don't know that I could make it in Tokyo. I feel like I would be, I think I've made this joke before, but I would feel like Big Bird and Follow That Bird, where he's like in Japan walking, hey, everybody, and everyone's looking up at him like, what the heck is going on with that guy?
So you would.
Okay, good. All right. My worst fears are confirmed. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's, the reason we went, like we've always wanted to go just like you. We decided, you know what, let's do it. It's actually like the US dollar is pretty strong there right now, so it's like relatively cheap in general. And then we found flights through San Jose direct to Tokyo. And they were only like round trip total like 700 a person US.
God, dude. That's crazy to me.
Which is once we saw those. Yeah. Once we saw those, we're like, I guess it's happening. So we bought the tickets. We planned for 3 weeks, which is also an insane amount of time to plan a vacation.
And how many, 2?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. I love that, dude.
Yeah, it was great. Because we figured like we'll probably never be able to do 3 weeks like this again. So let's just go for it.
Yeah, man.
Group of 5, and so like the majority of the trip was not at Tokyo Disneyland, but at the very end we spent we had like 4 days total. 5 nights, 4 days.
Nobody's perfect, P.
Nobody's perfect.
Imagine spending 3 weeks in Tokyo Disneyland. Just like, I feel trapped. Because I imagine by like the 5th day, you would feel stuck. You're like, I'm not doing this. I feel some game show that I don't want to be a part of.
Totally. Yeah. It's, it's pretty big, but I think if you're there long enough, it definitely starts to feel pretty small pretty quickly. I think like the initial take you get when you walk in is you're like, this is just like a weird new Disneyland. What's going on? This is just, everything is in the wrong spot. And there's this whole new park I've never even seen before. But after you're there for a while, you're like, this isn't too big.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be a long time. But I would say like, if you ever go and you want to go to Tokyo, like you could totally do, like I said, we planned on 2 full days, 1 full day at Disney Sea and 1 full day at Disneyland. And we ended up doing that plus the night before we did a night only ticket at Disney Sea. And then the last night, which was just supposed to be us hanging out at the hotel, we decided to go back to Disney Sea one more time for a night ticket. So we went basically 4 times.
Okay. That's pretty good.
But I think after the 4th time at Disney Sea, I was like, yeah, we did it. I would totally come back here in a heartbeat, but I think we did it. So
you've accomplished what you wanted to do.
For the most part, yeah. It was really interesting because we booked, so like there's so many things to talk about. It's kind of hard to figure out where to start.
Well, let me ask you this: you had 4 days. Is that enough? Is that too much? Is it just the right amount? If you go back again, or when you go back again, how long will you be staying for? Because I'm sure people want to know. You have no idea, and I would go like, well, 7 days. You got to go 7 or 8 days, or 9 days, or even 10 days, because you've never seen it. You want to do all the stuff. What's an ideal length for you?
Are you so like if you just want to go like nowhere else in Tokyo, if you're just talking about the parks, I think like 4 days, like 2 days in each park is probably good. I'm a little like the Disneyland park is like okay. It's cool for its own reasons, but it's not that big. And like to be honest, there's not actually that many thrilling rides there right now because when we went, Space Mountain and Haunted Mansion were both down.
Oof.
So yeah, they're rebuilding Space Mountain like further back for some reason. And so, like, you can see it and you can see the construction of the new one, but you can't go to either.
That's weird
Um,
to
and
me.
yeah, and then Haunted Mansion, they were doing their overlays, right? So
Oh.
it was like, yeah, whatever. We'll just do it next time because
Is
there will
there
be a next time.
I imagine they have a like a refurb or overlay calendar, what's down for maintenance and what's not. So that might be something to check also if you want to go to
Definitely.
Haunted Mansion, or anything like that, maybe plan around that if you can.
Yeah, totally. I thought, like in my head, like I just kind of like assumed that was going to be the case, and it was. I think they actually do. I ended up looking up later, and they actually did have like someone's got a site with the planned downtime. That's how I found out about Space Mountain because I was like, I can see it. Why can't I go to
Yeah.
it?
Why didn't you just ask
um,
someone there for why you can't go? Oh,
Learn
because
Japanese
you
real
don't
quick
speak
and
Japanese. Yeah, that's cool. All right, it's about 4 days, 2 in each park. That seems about right. Like we went to Disney World for 6 days, I think it was, and that was like one too many.
yeah, that seems kind of long for Disney World.
The last day, we're like, yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like we would overdo it and go, well, we need a plan to live there for 2 years first before we go to the park. So
Right.
that's pretty good.
Uh,
All right.
yeah, and I will say the last day. So I talked about going into the parks, but on the last day, on the September 5th is when we were there, and we had a full day with nothing planned. The real plan was to go to like their shopping district, and so we did that. And like we also went to all the hotels just to check them out, like that are on the line right there, like monorail subway line, and we checked those out. And then we just had the rest of the day still. So we're like, well, let's go into the Disney Sea one more time. So
Have a cheeky little pop in. That's cool.
yeah, it's a pretty small area.
So
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
talking to people, you're talking, I guess, the people listening to this, would you recommend having a couple extra float days to either go back into the parks or just explore around the area? Like, how far away is Tokyo from Tokyo Disneyland? Is it like the Disneyland Paris, where it's like 45 minutes outside Paris proper?
No, so like Tokyo in general, their like whole system of subways is so amazing. It's crazy. You could get across the city in 45 minutes. You could get out of the city to another one probably in 45 minutes.
Wow.
I think if you took when we looked at it, because we did it at the tail end of the trip, right? So we had this hotel in Tokyo, on like the east side of Tokyo in Ginza, and we were going to take the subway, and I think it was roughly 30 to 40 minutes to get there. But we decided because we had been riding subways now for you know 3 weeks, so we're like, let's pay for one Uber. Let's stay above ground this time, and let's check out the sights. And it was kind of cool because it's like a bay, right? So it's like it's in Tokyo Bay.
Okay.
And so we basically rode like a weirdly deluxe Uber van that was just a van, but like our seats had like footrests that raised up on them. It was crazy. The whole thing was
Ooh.
crazy.
What
Yeah,
is
it
it
was. We
about,
felt
like,
like bougie.
yeah, like I feel like anything in Japan is automatically luxury. Or it's a little
Yeah,
more luxurious than it is here for some reason. And I don't know
yeah.
why. Maybe it's because like most of the people will respect other people's property.
Totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think people actually like take pride in what they do and the work that they do. So
Yeah.
and so people tend to respect it. So yeah, so we rode that, and that was only like 15, 20 minutes or so. And there
Okay.
was traffic, and that was why. So it's just like literally across the bridge in the
Okay.
bay.
Nice. All right.
Um
So you can go have a couple float days, stay in Tokyo, still go to the parks, still do all that kind of stuff and
yeah.
experience, I don't want to say Japanese culture, because I'm sure Tokyo, is like San Francisco here, where I wouldn't call it any one culture. It's just more shopping, really. But I don't know.
Right.
Is that what you experienced? How was
Yeah.
your non-Disney time? Before we get into like too much into how you planned it and stuff, like what else did you do?
Oh man, we did so much. It's like I could talk for days about it. We
Okay,
did
well,
the
don't do
general
that.
trip, right? You're here for 2 days.
Yeah, yeah,
The general trip was we went. So we flew into Tokyo, and then we spent like about a week or so, a couple days on the sort of west side of Tokyo. So sort of by like we like stayed in like Shinjuku, which is by Shibuya, and then
oh
we did
sure.
a bunch of stuff around there. And then we took a bullet train to Kyoto. And unfortunately, we only stayed there for 3 days because we didn't think there'd be a lot to do. But that was by far our favorite place. And we're like, next time we go, we're staying in a week at least in Kyoto.
Why?
So we went there.
Like, what did you do that
And
was so
it's just,
fascinating?
oh my God, dude, so many things. First of all, the food anywhere is amazing, and I had the best food I've ever had in my entire life at this like little hole in the wall, seats literally 7 people, and 2
Ooh,
dudes in a really small kitchen.
yeah.
Sukumen ramen, and it was like we got a bowl of the best ramen I've ever had, and I got a beer, and it was cash only, and it cost me like $10 American. And like
Jeez.
we got the bill, and we're like, "Is this real life? What is happening right now?" So like,
Are they a tip culture too or not?
no,
Man, get out of town. Let's move there. Actually, I
no.
don't want
So
to
we
move
just
there.
did like literally all of us at one point early on were like, should we like buy property here? Because it's
Yeah,
so good. Um,
I'm sure it's the
but yeah, I
last
mean,
thing
we
the
did, and
locals
so
want.
we were in Kyoto.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Kyoto, and then we took another bullet train to Osaka, and we were there for about a week, a little over a week. So that was fun, and we did some day trips. We went to Hiroshima. We went to Nara Park, which is like where the bowing deer are. I don't know if you know what those are.
No. Oh, they eat the little
Um,
buns, right? The little steamed pork
Yeah, you
buns.
give them the little crackers, but they come up to you and they bow to you, right?
I
So
was kidding.
and then you bow to them.
I was making a dim sum joke, but I know it's not.
Oh no,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
it's no joke.
Yeah. No, I know, but never mind. Well,
Okay,
that's
yeah,
great, P. Yeah, it went over your head. That's okay.
yeah, so it's cool.
Bit
So
like an airplane.
a lot of
Fine.
movement, a lot of movement.
All right. Well, that's good, man. So when you decide that you want to go on this trip, where do you start? Like we said, there's really not a whole lot of information out there. So how do you, a person who's not very technologically advanced, how do you how do you figure that out, man? What do? You start just plugging in stuff online or talking to people or what?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. I think so. We went in a group of 5. So what we kind of did is we split up the work first and foremost. So like you're in charge for the days, this set of days, and figuring out where we're gonna stay. You're gonna figure out where we're gonna stay, and I'm like, give me the Disneyland section of it. I got you guys. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
Still not knowing anything about it.
so you split up amongst your group. You basically
Yeah.
like you're a commune of we're just following the ball. Now it's your time. So if we have a terrible time, it's your fault.
Oh yeah, dude. We were laying into each other a little, not really like actually laying into each other, but like, wow, nice choice, dude.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell you another time about the place we stayed in Osaka. I'm pretty sure was haunted. There were so many weird things about it. I'll have to it's just
Well,
anyways.
sounds like a secret show topic
Yeah,
to
well,
me, man.
I'll talk yeah, after this I can talk about it on the secret show. It's insane.
All right.
Um but yeah, so we split that up, and then we kind of all, so like the other like important thing, and I just kind of do this with every trip we do with a group of people or just us, is I just started, like, everyone started looking up like like blogs and vlogs of people's trips and food, and so we started a shared Google map, and we just started putting stuff on the map.
Oh,
So that was the first
smart.
thing to do. So now we have like literally 150 things of flags all over Japan. And so then we met again, and we just found a concentration of all the dots, and then we found places to stay in those areas. So that's how we sort of picked like where what where we want to stay for the days that we're there.
All right. It's a good idea. I wouldn't have thought about a Google map. I would have just thought of like a document where you just list it out and then you have to figure it out when you get there. Because I'm dumb.
Yeah, we had a document too. We had a document too for
Well,
sure.
sure, yeah. But like
It's like
the map is a
pure.
great tip.
Yeah, because like the thing we kind of realized early on looking through all this is it doesn't really matter. Like Japan, you just sort of go do things. It doesn't, like, there are reservations you need for some things, but in general, you just go and it's fine. And so we're like, okay, well, we'll just, whatever we're doing for the day, we'll just look at the map and say, oh, let's go do this, let's go do this. And it worked out. It worked out really well. I think everybody had like one thing on the map. They're like, I really, really want to do this, so let's make it happen. For me, that was the Disneyland park. So I'm like, we're staying over there and we're going. So, and everyone had their own thing. So,
Okay. I
Yeah.
love that. That's great.
yeah.
Taryn's
And so
here.
that's, hey, Taryn,
Hi.
How are
how
you,
you
Taryn?
doing?
Good. I was surprised. Hi.
You're surprised?
Yeah, all right.
Well, I couldn't see you. I can't see you on Zoom.
Oh, yeah, that's
so
right,
it's,
yeah.
Tricky.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
You're
what
just
we're
gonna have to
doing.
pretend I look really cool.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and handsome and not at all, weird and pixelated.
Yep. Anyways.
Okay, so that's what you did. So you split it up, and everything was great.
Yeah.
All right.
And so that was Japan in general.
Okay. Love it.
And then came the sort of like I was in charge of planning the Tokyo stuff. And so like I was very cocky and I thought, dude, I've been to Disneyland so many times. I got this.
Sure, because
And then
it's a 1-to-1. It's an even swap, right? Yeah.
Right. Boy, was I wrong. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. It was just, I guess, weird is the best word for it. So like I'm gonna give big credit to TDR Explorer. He's one of the 3 people that actually like does stuff in Tokyo, and he's got a bunch of videos and a whole website.
Okay.
His stuff is legit. Like I found a lot of his stuff, and I followed a lot of it, and that's where I got the most useful information. So I just want to give him a plug because he deserves it.
Sure.
And so like he had a link. Like so, the first thing I'm like, okay, is like where on the trip do we do this? Like, do we do it at the tail end? Do we do it at the beginning? Somewhere in the middle? And I saw that Tokyo Disneyland, and you can kind of see in the background behind me if it's not too pixelated. It's on Tokyo Bay, so like there's
Yeah.
a bay right there, and so I'm like, that looks relaxing. Let's do it at the end so we can like because we're gonna be busy. So we did it at the tail end.
Yeah. Smart. That's what I would have done too, because I don't want to haul around a bunch of Disney souvenirs for 3 weeks.
That's a good
That
point.
too.
Yeah.
Yes, because you are traveling with your suitcases everywhere. So
Did you
it's,
ship anything back?
No, we just like this is a pro tip because we looked this up and we actually bought stuff and did this and it worked.
Okay.
We went to a Don Quixote, which is just like a Don Quixote, I think is how you pronounce it. It's just like a giant store. You'll definitely go when you go there. It's a big thing. And they had these vacuum seal bags. And so we bought some vacuum seal bags, loaded a bunch of stuff in it,
Yes.
and then borrowed the housekeeper's vacuum cleaner and we condensed that sucker.
Yes.
And
dude.
like we were able to close. I was sitting on our thing, like I'm like 220, right? I'm sitting on the suitcase and we barely got it to close. And it's so dense. It's like, not even a big suitcase. And it was like 60 pounds or something. It was crazy.
Wow, dude. I love that.
Yeah. But the vacuum seal, that's a pro move.
Okay.
Plan for that.
All right. Yeah, especially if you're going for that long. My problem is I would just bring an extra suitcase for souvenirs. Or I would mail it back or something like that. I don't care what it costs because I like to buy little tchotchkes and stuff anyways.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up buying a second bag to just check. And we ended up paying a little bit extra for that because we didn't prepay for it. It was a whole thing. But yeah, same thing. We bought a lot of stuff. The nice thing with our trip, by the way, another pro move is we went to Tokyo, then went to Kyoto and Osaka, and then back to Tokyo. So like when we were in Tokyo, we found things we wanted. We're like, we'll get it when we get back. So that actually helped a little bit.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a lot of moving, but the resort area was really nice. The hotel we stayed in was the Sheraton Grand, I believe is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And so that hotel is not a Disney hotel, but there are Disney hotels in the area and non-Disney hotels in the area. I'll just say right now, like save yourself the research, stay there, stay in the park wing, don't go anywhere else. Unless you have money you want to spend, then go to a Disney hotel, but you totally don't need to.
Was that the reason that you chose not to stay like on campus, I guess? Was because it a lot more expensive?
It is. Yeah, it's like regular US prices. Like we stayed at the Sheraton Grand, which is considered a 5-star hotel in Japan. I would say that it's probably a 4-star hotel to American standards, but it's still very nice. And it was only $110.22 US per night per person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was cheap.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's crazy. Yeah, and I got to be honest with you, it felt like total luxury when we got there after staying in other hotels in Japan, where everybody picked one, and some people picked the cheapest ones, and they were very cheap for very good reasons. We stayed one place, and it ended up being like $25 a night per person. I'll save the details for the secret show, but you got that much.
Oh boy.
But I guess that's what's hard to figure out because everything seems cheaper there. So I guess there's a like a saturation point of cheaposity to valuation.
Yeah, and like they're not like it's not like anything's bad. Everything is very clean for the most part, and people are very friendly, and it's very
Yeah,
safe.
but it's for the most part that bothers me.
Right. Yeah, yeah. You gotta be a
You
little
know?
careful.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair,
Um,
man.
But yeah, so like by the time we got to the Tokyo Disneyland hotel, it was like one person in our party said, "Okay, now I feel like I'm on vacation," right? Because it's like
Oh
you roll in
yeah.
and there's palm trees, and it's all like it seems a lot more chill and resorty, right? So you're like, okay, now I'm feeling good.
You know, I
So
feel like
so yeah,
number
it was
one.
very nice.
I feel like number one, it was a good move for that reason to have this be the tail end, to be the final chapter of your trip, right? Especially because maybe you want to save a little bit of money, not hosteling it, but slumming it in places. It sounds like, and then now we not only are going to go home soon, we're going to have a good day, a good couple days at the Disney parks, but then we get to just kind of relax and a little bit more luxury. And the second part is I forgot what I was going to say. So there's that.
Happens.
Yeah.
Well, good.
yeah, it is good, man. So let's talk tickets, man. What are the prices for the tickets for these parks? So we can all just like scream internally.
So I bought tickets online for the full days well ahead of time. And I had read there was a night ticket. I didn't really think much of it because I'm like, why would I go for? Because it's only for like 5 hours or so. So I didn't even look at the night tickets, but I bought full day. And a full day ticket, you can only stay in one park. It was $56.11 US.
How
Yeah,
much? Sorry.
$56.11.
That's like 1998 prices.
Dude, 50 for a full day. That's crazy,
That's
dude.
Full day
amazing.
in one park. Yeah,
Wow.
they do not have park hoppers, but at that price, you could park hop if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You mean so you just buy one ticket at each park and then you can just come and go as you please? Are there ins and outs? Yeah, I guess there are, aren't there?
I think so. We didn't do it, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure you can.
Yeah.
I
That's
guess I never
crazy,
really
dude.
looked that up. I never considered it.
Like when you leave, you get a hand stamp or whatever.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so it was like that was like when I saw that I was like, okay, like this is the thing about going to Japan, especially when the US dollar is so strong.
Mm-hmm.
You see things like this and you're like, I'm just gonna buy things.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fine. It's so cheap.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you feel like the rich Westerner, like, hey, I'm gonna throw.
Yeah.
Hey, American, I'm gonna throw my, money around. It like reminds me of like these bunch of Mexican dudes I used to work with. They would come over and do work or whatever, and they'd be like, "Oh, you American, you rich?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm literally making $15 an hour. I am not rich." He goes, "You rich?" No, no. Just because I'm an American doesn't mean I'm rich. But I guess in Japan you feel that way.
It's all relative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where like when we wanted to pay to get on rides faster, it was just not a question. We're like, yeah, of course we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
We're only here right
Wow.
now, and it's already so cheap. Like we're not even come close to the US price. So you just plan for the US pricing and then go to Tokyo and you're gonna have a good time.
My Lord, man, that's like retirement investment advice. Plan for the worst and then head to the cheapest.
Yeah.
You're hitting it.
Totally.
I love that.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, so we did so it was 56.11 for the day pass, and then the night ticket, which I think is about 5 hours, was $32.07 US.
I can't even
Um,
imagine paying $32 to go to a Disneyland. Like that's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and like we weren't going to go that last day, but it was very easy to say, yeah, let's do it because it's $30 a person. Like,
Sure.
Dude,
it's
I love
crazy.
that.
And is that either park? Are they the same price?
Same price.
Cool.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, it was really good deal. We went the tail end of August. I think it gets a little bit more expensive depending like on the season. It was very hot when we went, so I think it was probably a little cheaper. But yeah, it was great. It was really great.
Sounds awesome, man. You know, and I guess it just makes me wonder, like, what we're doing here in the U.S. parks. Why does it cost so much money? But I guess I get it. It's bigger parks, and it's, America. Apparently, we have a lot of money over here.
Yeah, we're all rich.
Apparently, our friends are rich. I didn't know that.
Actually, I mean, you do have to be rich to go to Disneyland. I mean, let's just be honest. So.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't have to be as rich to go to Tokyo. Although you got to get to Tokyo, but I still think it's cheaper overall.
I think you're right.
Did you happen to like pencil it all out to see?
Yes.
Oh.
So I was preparing for this show, and I figured I would do my best to give you the number, right? Which is
Ooh.
like how much were tickets to the park, the hotel, and the premier passes, which is sort of like the pay to go on the ride quick.
Yeah.
I didn't get the number to include food.
Okay.
But the number
That's all right.
per person,
Yeah.
number per person for tickets, hotel, and I can tell you the number of rides we paid to go on.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Don't give it. Taryn, what do you think it is?
For one person?
One person. So tickets to the park, $56. You already know that.
Mhm. Hotel.
Yeah.
We already know that.
What do you think it is? I have it in front of me, so I'm not gonna, cheat and win.
So, okay. I guess is it, I don't know.
I love putting her on the spot.
$300.
300, not 300. That's pretty low.
Well, because this is why I should have asked more like what goes into this, because it's like I already know how much the hotel was and I know how much the ticket was. So to me that's $150 or $180.
We stayed 4 nighs at the hotel.
Okay, so 4, got it. Okay, so then my answer is not 300. My answer is 600.
It was $707.45 US.
Good gravy.
But also what's interesting is like that's per person, but you're not double person paying the hotel. So
right. Well, no, that's like hotel divided per person for the room for night. So that is per actual person.
Oh, okay. Okay. For 4 nights.
That's not bad.
No, that's not bad.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's right. Maybe I did my math wrong, but still, if it's wrong,
it's still cheaper.
If it's wrong, then it's cheaper than what I just said.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
That's crazy. Okay, so you stayed at the Sheraton Grand Tokyo Hotel, which is not the resort hotel, and you were saying just pony up the money and stay at the resort.
No, I'm saying like if you have the money and you really want to do the resort, you can.
Yeah.
But it is completely unnecessary.
It's unnecessary.
In fact,
okay.
Yeah, the where we stayed in that hotel, we paid like an extra $30 a night to stay in the park wing, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. We're on vacation. We'll splurge a little. It was so close to the monorail to just like literally go to the bottom floor, go out the door, across the street, get on it, and then ride one stop, and we're at Disney Sea. Like,
oh, geez.
It was not even like we usually stay at the probably not anymore, but we used to stay at the Marriott Anaheim, like the convention center Marriott, and then walk to Disneyland.
Yeah.
And I feel like that walk is more of a hassle than it was to go to the park in Tokyo.
Wow. So
Yeah.
what? Hold on. Your computer volume is on. It's all right. Just grinding the show to a halt, Taryn. It's fine. It's all right. You need me to go over there and look at it?
Beer time.
You good? Sure?
Yeah,
All right. It's okay. It's okay. All right, Taryn.
Push the wrong button.
All right. You're good.
Okay.
Just a throwaway show anyway.
Rude.
You didn't even hit record.
Yeah, I'm just doing this to help P with his ego. I'm not really like, we're not even live. The Truman Show. I almost said the Schumann Show. That's not right.
Oh, geez, that would be scary.
So, what made you pick the Sheraton Grand Tokyo Hotel instead of the resort hotels?
So the resort hotels were more expensive, like $100 a night versus $400 a night. So I was like, yeah. Like they were California prices when I was looking. I was like, hell no, dude.
I was gonna say that's more in line with U.S. prices.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
interesting thing right next to our hotel was there's like a new Toy Story hotel,
Hmm.
and like you can't even go onto the property unless you have a room there.
Oh, okay.
Like
That's
they
crazy.
have security to not leave because it's really new, and I guess they just don't want a bunch of people filming or something. I don't
Well, it's
know.
probably very cool looking.
It is very cool. Our
Yeah.
airport shuttle on the way out drove us through it, and it was extremely cute. And I was like, "Damn, dude, I might, I might need to pay for this if we have, kids one day. This might be the spot."
I'm
Nice.
surprised that you didn't just pay for a room there and then just walk around with how much money you guys had. I mean, geez Louise.
Yeah, all the savings.
Yeah. Tip to all of our Japanese listeners: if you ever see Mr. P walking around, rob him. He's loaded.
Totally.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that sounds neat, man. I wonder if you get like a custom Toy Story toy based on you. That's what I feel like the gifts would be in a hotel in Japan. You know?
Yeah, probably. Just look at the pictures of the hotel. Like it's very well documented. It's really, really cool. Really, really cool.
Nice, man. All right, this is what I want to talk about the most. This is mainly why I want to do this show. I want to
Sure.
talk about the food there, please.
Okay.
Because every video I've seen, every vlog, as much as that word makes me gag, the food, it's art. It's insanely cute, and I don't want to eat it, but I want to sample all of the things. So how was that? Because that would be part of my research as well, is what to eat, where to get it, and how much it costs. I would need to budget that stuff in. What did you do for the food?
Yeah, so before I went on the trip, I looked up a bunch of like mostly the TDR Explorer guys, like sort of list of like food to go eat.
Okay.
Um, there's a lot of classics that every single person will tell you, like the alien mochi, right? The little mochi balls with the aliens from Toy Story.
Yeah.
So I what I kind of did is I just sort of pre-wrote a list in like where they were at in each park.
Okay.
And then I just sort of while we were there, we just grazed pretty much the whole time.
Okay. There you go.
I think yeah, because it's just there's so much food. So we had a lot of good food, and I will definitely say that the food there was significantly better than the U.S. And shame on the U.S. parks
Wow, and a shame
for not
too. Are we
doing
getting
better.
Are we getting a finger
Yeah,
wag
dude, give 'em a
with that or what, man?
tisk
No,
tisk.
no. How
Yeah,
different? Like what?
it
Like
was like everything just tasted more. I don't have to say this. Everything tasted more real. Like it had flavor and wasn't just like this cardboard with a little hint of some sugar or something, or just so sugary, just you don't know what it is, right?
okay.
Um, like I have a lot of different food I tried. I basically gave everything a 10 out of 10 with the exception of some minor things, and they were good, but I was like, after everything else I've had, meh.
Wow.
um, like I had a real surprise for me. I'm not a big popcorn person usually, right? And so I'm not a popcorn person, and I don't really get popcorn tins. But they had this really cool Halloween popcorn thing. It's like a pumpkin with this cute ghost coming off of it, and it lights up. And I'm like, damn, that's a decoration right there. I'm buying that.
I feel
And when you
like.
buy it,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No,
No,
go ahead.
you go ahead.
What
This
do
is
you feel
my
like?
show. You go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so when you buy it, it comes with a popcorn, so you have to pick a flavor.
Right.
And so I got this mix, right? And it was called like the Fantasyland mix or something like that. Or strawberry Napoleon. I called it Fantasyland though
What?
because it tastes and smelled like Fantasyland, and I don't know how else to describe it. It was
Okay.
delicious. And
Okay.
when you eat it, it was very delicious and not too sweet, but you got like the sensation like you were hanging out in Fantasyland. It was very odd.
That sounds so you had Neapolitan flavored popcorn?
Napoleon. So it was like strawberry, caramel, and chocolate, I think. White chocolate.
That's disgusting, dude. What
It
is
sounds disgusting, but it was amazing.
what is wrong
That's the
with
thing,
you?
like that is like the difference here is like it's actually good, and you
Was
wouldn't
it
think so.
was it the sweet salty thing? Like did it have salt?
Yeah. Yeah,
Huh.
some of it had salt, some of it was
I could see it.
I think the strawberry was probably really sweet. That one was probably the sweetest. But it had a really good strawberry flavor to it. Like it was more strawberry than it was sugar. I don't know
White
how else to explain it.
white chocolate turns my stomach, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't do it. I white chocolate sucks.
Well,
It's not even chocolate.
Neapolitan isn't usually white chocolate. It's usually vanilla.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So keep in mind that like in Japan, things are definitely nowhere near as sweet as they are in the US. So the white chocolate tastes different than what you're probably thinking.
Really?
Yeah. I
See,
mean, you still know it's white chocolate, but it's not like,
Yeah.
oh God, like this is so fake and it's not even a real flavor. It's not really like that.
it's weird because like Japanese curry is like this like sweet curry, and so I would assume that a lot of other stuff is kind of overly sweet too. I don't know why that sticks in my head, but it does. Like I was really surprised because when I first had Japanese curry, I was like in a big like Indian curry kick. I'm like, Japanese curry, let's try that. And it's like, wow, I am just eating sugar. It was weird. But anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, no, I mean another example. There's this. I don't really drink soda, like ever, really.
Yeah.
Like the last soda I had was probably a Mountain Dew, like probably from Taco Bell, a Baja Blast.
Okay, all right, yeah.
How last time I went there, which is actually probably recent, but
I was gonna say a couple months ago, probably.
yeah, yeah. But they have this apple tea soda that
Okay.
people were raving about. And like
Really?
I'm looking like it was one of the things where you go do the research. Every single person's like, you gotta get the apple tea soda. I'm like, I'm not a big apple person. I like tea, but in a soda that's weird. And also I'm not a soda person.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting like 5 of those things while we were there. They're
Whoa.
so good. And it's exactly what it sounds like, but it's not too sweet.
Okay.
And it's not overpowering like fake flavors. It's just a really nice, like chill soda. It was very pleasant to drink.
I love having a chill soda.
Chill soda.
It's it's the only way I can explain it. You'll know
All
when
right.
if you ever go, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. All right, that's fine, man. All right, so but food was banging. Food was on point.
Food was really good. The alien mochi was obviously really good.
I was gonna ask. You had to get that, right?
We got it probably 4 times.
What flavors of mochi was it? Was it red bean?
No, it was chocolate, strawberry, vanilla. Or no, it was chocolate, strawberry, and I think it was custard. I don't think it was vanilla. I think it was custard.
So is it like a theme amongst the desserts there with chocolate strawberry in some sort of white color? Like vanilla
Not really.
or white chocolate? Really? It seems
Just
like
a
it.
coincidence?
Two of the
Those are
foods
the only 2 things in that category that I can think of.
I'm like, because two of the things you talked about were those, so I didn't know. Okay. So you mean to tell me the teriyaki chicken legs didn't have a strawberry, a chocolate, and a vanilla flavor?
Unfortunately not. I asked.
Damn, dude. Excuse me, do you have this in strawberry?
We have it in America.
Yeah, what's wrong with you, man? What about the beers there? You have a note in here that you were drinking beers in Tokyo Disneyland. What kind of beer do they have there? Is it just like the big Japanese lagers or what?
Yeah, I think they have just sort of a run of different Japanese. I didn't actually look at the names most of the time, but it's like the typical Japanese beers you can get anywhere, but they're like on draft,
Yeah.
and they're just really crisp and delicious. And they're
I
like,
know.
God, I think it was how much did we pay for beer there? It was like $1.50 US or something.
Oh
for
my
beers.
gosh.
It was insane.
Bro, this is the
Amazing.
problem, man. This is the absolute problem with the way America is run. It's just we are just for the dollar, man. It doesn't matter who needs to suffer.
Well, and that's the thing. It's not like Japan has a poor economy either.
Right.
Like they're doing just fine,
They're all right.
from what I understand.
Yeah, I
Like,
think they have inflation or something like that. I don't know. They got some economic problems usually, but for the most part, everyone's chill. Sounds
Yeah, I
great to
think-
me.
I think the most expensive beer we had, we both, me and my buddy went and got beers and sort of hung out to charge our phones and then like we watched like a light parade that went by.
Yeah.
And we got like a craft beer, and I think I can't remember the exact price. I was trying to find it before the show, but I think it was only like $6. Like I remember thinking like this is Oregon beer prices 10 years ago. This is crazy.
Yeah, for sure. That's like, yeah, you can't go anywhere. We can get a beer for craft beer for $6 anymore, especially not at the parks. You go to the parks, that's
No.
$12-14.
absolutely.
Easy.
Yeah, I remember
doesn't need
thinking
to
like,
be.
wow, we get multiple beers for the price of one in like
Well,
DCA.
And you know what? And I think, and multiple people have said this before, and we've said it over time, but I think the prices for alcohol at the American parks keep going up because people keep getting too drunk. And I think it's a problem. I think it's multiple issues. One is that Disney knows they can make money on it.
Sure.
So they're just going to keep raising the price. But I think it is also just like they're doing with the prices to get in the parks. They're trying to price people out of it so they don't drink as much. But I don't, and I know that every country has an alcohol problem to some extent, but I don't think Japan has the same kind of social outbursts as we do here. Vis-a-vis getting wasted on Sierra Nevada torpedoes and riding Mickey's Wheel of Death.
Well, and I think that there's also just a very difference in culture. I mean, obviously there is, but like in American culture, you're going to the parks with your family, but you can't handle your family because you don't spend much time with them. And so this condensed amount of time with them, you find the need to have to drink yourself through it.
Right. Yeah. Even going to the grocery store as a teenager, you have to put your headphones on.
Yeah.
You can't.
You cannot spend time with your family in America. So you
Nor
have
should
to
you.
drink through it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally buy what you guys are saying. Like everyone was like, we basically had beers every single day we were in Japan because it was cheap and it was delicious.
Someone has a
but
problem.
not a single person was rowdy ever.
Oh, man.
There was one moment in time. This is like such a fascinating like cultural thing. Like I think it was the last night we were leaving Disney Sea. But we had left the park and one guy was like kind of younger. I think he was like a teenager. He like sprinted and like laughed really loud. Like that was it. It wasn't anything sketch. He wasn't doing anything crazy, but it was quiet. And he like the whole crowd just like turned and looked at him. And then he sat down and like, yeah, maybe he had a beer or two. That was it.
Damn.
That was it the entire trip. That was the most I'd seen of anybody getting rowdy. It was crazy.
Well, and I have another theory about it too, because the drinking age in Japan is 18. And I do really think, while I don't necessarily think we should lower our drinking age, I do think there's something to be said for these countries who have a lower drinking age where it's not such this thing that you're waiting for. Like we put drinking on such this pedestal where like other countries, it's like, I don't know, have a glass of wine with dinner when you're 15. Like who cares?
Yeah.
Like it's like a non-issue.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But some of them do still have lots of issues. I'm just saying like... We have such an issue with alcohol in America.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They totally have it under control in Japan. It's not even a thing. It's just like you can drink on the street while you're walking, or at least we did. And I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I can't tell if we were supposed to.
Did.
Yeah,
I saw other people doing it.
I'll tell you what, P. Let's take a break, and we'll come back. We'll talk about some rides, and sort of wrap it up. What do you think of that? All right, hang on, everyone. Ears up. We will be right back.
And now, back to the show that ignites your dream wish of imaginations and magical color wonderment of forever. Ears Up.
Thanks for hanging on, everybody. We're back
so
here
good.
with
I love
Mr.
that.
P. Shut up, P. Talking to you. Talking about you, for you. I know you can't hear my sounds, so...
No, I can't actually.
Oh, well, you have no excuse now. You have no excuse.
No, I wanted to interrupt you.
No, okay, well, good. That's fun for everybody involved. Appreciate you very much. So we're back here talking about P, and we're talking about Tokyo Disney with Mr. P, of course. One of the greatest American travelers we've ever had on this show. And what I want to do is go through some of the rides that you went on. You have this really cute chart. And you charted everything that you kind of went on and how much it cost. And so you were saying that just like in the domestic parks, you can pay to like skip the lines or whatever. What was that cost like?
Yeah, so I think for the big rides, or the new rides, so like when we went, I think there's this whole new area that had opened up called Fantasy Springs, and that's where that's like the new hotness, right?
Yeah.
And so there's like 4 rides there. There's like Frozen, there's a Peter Pan ride, there's a Tinkerbell ride that we didn't go on because it's a kid's ride, and then there's a Rapunzel ride. And in the area itself is really cool. And so those rides and the bigger rides were about $13.36 US, which is like 2,000 yen. And so I think it's on par about with what you'd pay for the per. Actually, no, I think that's cheaper even still.
Yeah.
For
It's way cheaper. I think it's like $35, or it's a sliding scale out here, right?
yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. And then
So that's to skip the line. So you paid $13 and you skip the line.
right.
Okay.
And for the other rides you can pay for, which I think we only really paid for one ride that was like that, was to go on Journey to the Center of the Earth, and that was like the lesser ride, and that was pretty much $10 US to skip the ride.
Okay.
Skip the line.
In your notes, it's Journey to Kati. To
Oh
Cody.
yeah, Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Now I get it. And that's $10, and that's on Mysterious Island.
Yeah, that's the area.
I love
So-
that. I love the naming scheme for these. It's so cool.
Dude.
Mysterious Island.
Yeah, Disney Sea Park is my favorite park by far. It's
I
just so.
hear that. Everybody who goes.
Everybody says that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where when you get there and you see all of it, like it's been a very long time since I've been so excited and just so blown away with how amazing everything is. Like, you know, like the excitement you used to get when you go to the park, like, oh, there's this new land, oh, there's this new ride. Like that was like the entire time over there. Even with the rides that exist in the US park, it was still better in a lot of ways. So
Yeah,
it's just,
I would definitely, like in Florida when we went, I didn't want to go to the rides that we have in California. You know, it's like we've done, they're basically the same. But I would not do that in Tokyo. I would go to the rides because I know they're not going to be a 1-for-1. It's going to be different no matter what. Even if it's just
Definitely.
the language safety spiel in the beginning. Something.
Totally.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about the rides in general, everything feels a little bit older, but in a good way, if that makes
Interesting.
sense.
Okay. Like comfortable, not shiny. I don't know. But safe.
Yeah, I think a little bit of that. I mean, a lot of them felt newer, but they still just felt like they've been there for a long time. So, like an example I'll give you is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It is effectively the same ride, except the queue is great, and all of the original ride elements are still there, every single one of them. Right. So,
Like what?
like the auction off a bride. Is
Oh,
still
okay.
there.
Okay.
Like the pirates chasing the women around circles.
Oh, I
like
imagine.
the-
Yeah, I can't
yeah, that
imagine
is
that
all
Japan is
totally
going to
still
get rid of
there.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just interesting to see. Like, it's kind of fun that everything is still like pretty much OG, and like Journey to the Center of the Earth. That ride was like, you could tell it's been around for a while, but it didn't matter because it was so good. Like the theming, the sounds, the ride, the queue to get there, just 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, even, like the
Wow.
whole time.
Damn,
Yeah.
he's going for it.
It almost
like-
sounds like it's like a nostalgic dream for Disney
Kinda
fans.
Yeah, it just like that little area, there's 2 rides in, and then there's the volcano, right? And you're just standing there waiting to get a gyoza dog, and the volcano's erupting, and you can feel the heat of the flames.
I'm sorry.
It's
Hold
insane.
on. Hold on a second. What is a gyoza dog?
I sent you a picture, I believe. It's a
I didn't
so
look
you
at
know how you have a pork bun and it's like round and white,
it.
right?
Sure.
So this is a hot dog shaped one, like a long one, and in the center it's like the filling of gyoza.
God.
Oh.
It was really good.
I know it sounds delicious,
that
but
sounds
like I
great.
can't think of like who put this together.
Well, because they're trying to come up with the Japanese version of a hot dog. And they did it.
Corn dog, it sounds like. Is it on a stick?
No.
No, it's not a stick.
Well, and it's not deep fried. It's just
Yeah.
it's just
like
it's like a bow.
steamed.
It's like a bow. Yeah. It's like because gyoza's fried,
just
right?
long.
Yeah. So it's a
Yeah, that was-
it's a long bow.
Yeah, you know, it's probably about that. It's probably about a foot long or so, maybe a little less than a foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know me, I'm like, oh, like glizzy gyoza, I'm about that. Let's
Yeah,
try
sure.
it out for the lulz. And then I had one. I'm like, this is amazing.
Of
I'm getting
course.
another.
And this is what I was talking about the food. It's like I would just spend a day doing that and getting sick.
I would want to try every single thing.
Every single thing. I would probably go for 2 weeks, and every day I would just spend at one food cart going
Yeah,
through everything.
so that was basically our Japan trip in general. Was like we went for the food. 95% of our map were places to eat.
Yeah. It has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one tip I gotta give everybody though, because I this was kind of a letdown because I did not find this in my research. Things that's like the little kiosks that sell food and treats and snacks, they like will close at random times, and they're all different, and they all have different closing times in some cases. Like it's very
Hmm.
odd. There was this everyone raved about this it's like a salt ice cream that's like over in the Little Mermaid area. And I'm like, it's a hot day, dude. Let's go get that. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon,
Yeah.
closed. And we're just like, that's it. That was our last day. We're never going to be here at 2 p.m. So we didn't end up getting it. But and like a
Damn.
lot of places close early too. So like your options start to get limited. So like if you do go for food, and maybe spend an extra day just to chase food.
Okay.
To make sure you get it all.
Interesting. I'm looking through your chart of rides here. So you had another 11 out of 10, which is Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Crystal Skull. What was so good about that? I mean, wasn't that a terrible movie? Is it
I
based
haven't
on the
seen
movie?
the movie.
Neither have I.
It's the only one I haven't seen.
Okay, all right.
We'll probably watch it, but probably not for a while. The queue was incredible. It was a giant Mayan pyramid, and to get into it, you walk through like this little jungle area, and like I sent you some pictures, and like there's like an excavation happening in the eatery nearby, and you walk through and you see these like big holes in the ground with like bones coming out. It's super cool.
Wow.
And then you go into the Mayan pyramid, and the theming is phenomenal. Like there's a hole in the ceiling, and there's water dripping from the ceiling into a big puddle down the bottom. It's just the theming was impeccable. It was better than the US. I love the theming of the US one in California. This one was better in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I wonder if it's thematically correct. I mean, did the Mayans have a puddle of water? I don't know. I don't know about
You never
that.
know.
Did they know about dripping?
Dripping technology was not invented.
I didn't think so.
Called them out on that.
You know what? Ancient aliens.
English, in my English language, I told them this is not.
Yeah. They're like, okay, please move forward.
Yeah. I think the other thing about that ride, which made it an 11 out of 10 for me, was like it took everything that the ride in the US is supposed to be, and it worked. Everything worked perfectly, and everything happened at the right time, and it was thrilling. And maybe I couldn't understand the people in the car next to me. They're just yelling and saying things in Japanese. But like I got off that ride like super pumped. I was thrilled. I was legitimately thrilled riding it. The snake was perfect. The eyes shooting at the right time. The sounds were on dialed. Everything was dialed in. It was incredible.
So you're not talking worked as in like conceptually. You're talking it's like functionality was on.
It didn't go down a single time.
Wow.
And everything was in sync.
What is so funny about just even that statement is like, as somebody who has ridden that ride so many times in my life, I didn't really think about it until you just said it, how not often I have gone on it where it has worked all well. Like either the eye is not working, or the big boulder's not working, or the snake's not, like something is always not working. But I didn't really realize that until you said that everything was working. I was like, oh, that would be really nice.
Yeah, and it was more detailed. Like when you go through they shoot the arrows past you or whatever, and it's just like painted wall. It's just flat with some tubes sticking out. Like if I recall, there were like carved statues like that were textured in 3D, and everything felt so much better.
See, and
it was just,
this is interesting to me because I want to find out if that was actually true, or if you were so hopped up on the goofer that you in hindsight you're like, dude, they were real skeletons and they were reaching for me, brother. And they were saying, join us. Like, I wonder if you're just like making that up because like in your head, it just sounds, you want it to be that much cooler.
That could be the case there. Like I vaguely remember that, but I think I remember that. But I will say there was a point where I was sitting in the front right.
Yeah.
And we turned a corner and a skeleton reached me, and I could have grabbed it. It was right in my face.
Oh man, he was
crazy.
inviting
I was
you
like,
to stay with him.
It probably. Yeah. I was like, how are people not like, how is this okay? Like, if this is America, it'd be trashed immediately.
Oh my God, absolutely. Absolutely. You have another one here. Let me see, the Baymax one, which you call
Baymax.
Baymax sprays you in the face with water and you'll enjoy it ride.
It wasn't even a ride, dude.
Oh, well, it's just Baymax
It's
squirting
an
you with water.
attraction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were. It was so funny. This is the funniest thing. It was we just got in. We had some food. We
Yeah.
were sitting down, and I think I was like putting on sunscreen or something, and it was really hot, really, really hot. And like we're sitting in this little place where we got some like bread. I think that's where I got like the Mike Wazowski bread or something. And we're sitting there, and you see like this Baymax float coming by, and there's music, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. There's a little parade starting. It must be a parade. And there's kids just standing there going like this, like just waiting. And we're like,
Just like
This is
arms to the sky, like at a revival tent.
yeah, not
Okay.
every kid was like that, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
definitely saw at least one.
See again,
And I was just,
like
and
the
I'm just like
skeleton.
these kids, like they do have a Baymax ride, and so they love Baymax there. And I was like, cool,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
probably a parade.
Yeah.
And then like we're watching it, and they just start blasting water at these kids, and they're just like get blasted in the face with water, and we're like, what is happening, dude?
Is it like with squirt guns, or is it like from UHF where you get to drink from the fire hose?
Like it was a solid, like it was a stream. It was like a fountain stream, just
Wow.
like shooting at them, like picking them off as it went by.
Nice.
And like
Oh,
spraying
God.
mist. It was, yeah. And so like, I guess they really care about your health while you're there and your safety.
No, that can't
apparently.
be true. There's no
'Cause, like-
way. No government entity or any sort of organization anywhere cares about people's health, right?
Right. Yeah. And so like they're spraying you with water to cool you down. And then they had announcements. It was actually pretty cute. Like as you're walking, you hear announcements in Japanese and in English saying, hey, everybody, it's really warm today. Please make sure you seek some shade and take breaks, and don't forget to drink some water. And you're just like,
That's nice.
why are they being so nice to me? Like, what's going on here?
You're walking around feeling all suspect of everything.
Right. Right.
What was a terrible ride? What was the worst attraction or ride that you did there?
Oh man, this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm looking at my ratings right now. Okay, there's kind of two for different reasons. So I'm gonna hit you with the shock factor first. Big
All right.
Thunder.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. The theming was great, like Big Thunder always is.
Okay.
It was not fast. There was
Oh.
maybe one turn, like it was quote unquote fast, but there was one turn where I was like, oh, here we go, and then it slowed down again, and you're just like, it's just condensed, right?
Oh, that's
So-
too bad.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer because that's like the most thrilling ride they had in that park. Because I mentioned earlier, Space Mountain was down, right? So
Yeah.
similar to that, there is a ride called Raging Spirits, which is a roller coaster.
Okay.
That sounds
This
awesome.
one I would actually technically rank lower because it was even smaller and it was even slower.
Ew.
It had one loop. The one loop was the one time for half a second you're like, yes, and then it's over.
Oh, it's like a kid's ride then.
Oh.
Yeah, and I couldn't fit it in at first. I had to it's so small. I put my foot in, I tried to sit, and then I'm like, oh, I can't move my knee. I had to get out and reapproach it
See,
just
this-
to get in there.
This is me in most of the
Yeah.
rides at this park. Even at Disneyland. I can't do it. Impossible. How tall are you? How tall a guy are you?
6'2".
6'2".
So I'm
Okay,
pretty tall.
yeah. Yeah, I'm 6'5". I would hate it over there.
You would
I mean, I
me
would
hit
love
your
it.
head on a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure, which is fine. You can hear the gong from a mile away. Real fast, before we wrap it up, I do want to talk about the height of different stuff. Now, do they have different height requirements as in the U.S. parks, or is it kind of all the same? I mean, I guess you didn't compare them, but is stuff
Yeah.
shorter there than it is over here? Was that a hard thing to get used to? Like when you washed your hands in the restroom, were you bending over like lurch?
Yeah, things are shorter for sure.
Okay.
100%. Everywhere you go.
That
I
is
think
where I should live.
yeah,
dude.
the hotel we stayed at, I think is kind of I think one of the reasons I was attracted to it because it looked more like a US hotel room and the counters were higher there. But yes, everywhere you go is a little bit shorter. I don't have kids, so I didn't look at the heights. They were probably about the same.
How were
I
the
can't imagine
beds
them-
when you were in the hotels? Were they like long, normal, or were they like 5 feet and you're hanging off the end of them?
The biggest bed that I slept in was at this hotel at the parks, and it was a double.
Oh.
So my feet were still hanging off, but at least it was wider.
Sure,
And,
okay.
and we had a double room, and so it was just two of us, and so we pushed the beds together to make one big bed. And we
Smart.
each kind of got like a double to ourselves, which was kind of nice. But
That's
in
nice.
general, the beds are much smaller, and you definitely should plan for that.
Okay, see, this is what I wouldn't think about. And then I would go there and I would be miserable because I
Yeah,
need space. And when I'm sleeping, I need
Or
it.
you at least need to know going in that like you're gonna have to sleep diagonal.
Yeah, no, I just wouldn't go.
Oh.
I'd be like, oh, that's not going. Or I'm sleeping on the floor.
The beds are very stiff too. There is almost no padding, and I'm not even exaggerating. Like it is like sleeping on the floor almost in most places. And another reason I chose the Sheraton is because I saw some girl do a review, and she's like, "Here's how thick the mattress is in the Hilton," and it was like she held her hand up, and it was like, about this much of her hand, and she's like, "Here's at the Sheraton," and it's like, "There's an actual cushion here, and it's a little bit more comfortable," and it was. So.
See, you have to teach your friends who you went with how to do research like that because apparently nobody knows.
Yeah.
Apparently they didn't know. They shorted you on everything, man.
Yeah.
Well, I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great. It sounds like Japan has everything, but you know what it doesn't have? Hell or high, what is it called? Twilight.
Eclipse.
Eclipse.
Oh, Twilight.
Yeah.
You're right.
Geez, Sully's going to kill you. Hell or High Twilight from the 21st Amendment. You can go check that out now. It is their winter seasonal. No more is the Hell or High Pomegranate, which brings much sadness to the generations before and after Taryn.
So disappointed.
But that's okay.
That's
People
okay.
love a Hell or High Twilight. It's good to change
is
things
good.
up a little bit. And it's a very citrus-forward beer. So if you like, I like to think of it's like an American wit beer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like a Belgian wit beer, like a Blue Moon or a Saint Bernardus wit or something like that, or even the Allagash wit, it's like that, but a little bit more malty and not as like flowery with like not cardamom, but I can't grains of paradise, but I can't remember. Anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's very delightful, has a really bright citrus note, but still has a lot of malt in it too to kind of keep it more winter in like the winter vein.
It does feel like a winter beer.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's good stuff. So you can check that out there. Wherever 21st Amendment is sold, you can go to 21stamendment.com and find that out. And if you're in the Bay Area, please go visit the San Leandro Brewery and the San Francisco one as well. That has a nice brew pub. That's the original place. Both places have food, and both places are great. And you know what? Maybe if you go to San Leandro, P and I'll meet you out there, and you can buy us a beer. What do you think of that?
There you go.
That's all you got to say.
I take anyone who visits me, I take them there and I make them buy me beer. It's great.
Hell yeah, dude. I love that
Basically
for you.
same.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because they have a giant outdoor area, and so I love getting there. They open at noon on the weekends. We get there at noon or 11:50. Go sit out there. You get some food, get a beer or two, and you just like spend a couple
has room
hours.
to run around. The food is amazing. Like it's ideal.
Kind of ideal. Actually, I changed my mind. Nobody go there because I don't want it to like start
terrible.
being this big, thing. As much as Sully would be like, "What are you doing?" Like, I want my own place, man.
Yeah.
It's super good. I love that place. The
Dude, that
beer is
place-
amazing. Food's amazing.
That place is big enough where Sully should make like a Club 33 equivalent.
Oh my God, he totally should.
And just
He probably
pay
has one. We're
and
just
just
not
like
invited.
charge membership fee and be like, all right, for $10,000 a year, you get to get on this second level, and it's a private club, and you can do the things or whatever.
Oh
man.
yeah.
I bet he makes some
Good
money.
idea.
P, thanks, man. I appreciate the rundown. And if anyone's listening live who's a Patreon member, you can look forward to more P in about 15 minutes. And we'll talk a little bit more about his trip probably, and do a bunch of Disney news. We have a drink, of course, to make. We have a cocktail to go make. It's going to be a hot chocolate with some booze. I'm excited about it.
Love that.
And if you want to be a Patreon member, go to patreon.com/EarzUp. You get the link right there. You can pop over, and we'll once we end this stream, we'll just start the one on YouTube and go make the drink and kind of hang out a little bit.
Love it.
What do you think of that?
Yeah.
Can't
And
wait.
if anybody, you guys also have a Discord, and like I have an entire document I put together. Like we barely scratched the surface. Like we didn't even
Yeah.
talk about, the Tower of Terror, for example, right? That's a crazy thing, a really cool thing. So like, just hit me up on the Discord, and I'll share with whatever I can.
There you go. Yeah. And if you want the link to the Discord, it's always in the show notes and, stuff like that. So, P, I appreciate it, dude. Once again, thank you very much. It sounds like you had a great time, and I can't wait to hear more about it when you go next time and we stay here.
I'll go with you.
P, Taryn will
Okay.
go with you. Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'll stay home by myself. You have to bring Alice. That's the thing, though.
I'll bring Alice.
Oh, hell
We'll
yeah,
go.
dude. So I'll get 3 weeks by myself.
I'm not going for 3 weeks. I'll go
Oh.
for 2 weeks. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
You could
Fine.
go for 3 weeks. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll get 2 weeks by myself. It'd be great. All right, everybody. Thank you lot. Thank you lot much times, everybody. I appreciate the things that you're doing for me right now. Where's my outro? There it is. All right. Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. I appreciate it. And next time you hear our voices, well, it'll be January because this is our last show for December. But I'm in the process of editing the Buena Vista Boys' new show. We just recorded last night. It's The Treasure of Matacumbe. It's just a weird movie. It's
Sounds
on
weird.
It's on Disney Plus if you want to watch it. It's bizarre. It is absolutely bizarre. The cool thing is, or one of the cool things is, one of the characters in it is the same actor who did the voice for Prince John in the Robin Hood cartoon. And you can hear it whenever he like kind of does these little he's also the voice of the walrus in Alice in Wonderland.
Cool.
Kind of neat. I don't know. That's why I like doing that show. It's pretty fun. So that should be out, I'm going to guess, Monday or something like that. And then, look forward to that. So it'll be a good time. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. And until next time, see you in the parks.